Welcome everyone to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. I'm so glad you could join me. I'm your host, Michael Vega. So glad to be joined on the dais here by my main man, Al Prizzuti, as always. And I wanted to come to you with better news about the Milton girls hockey team, but sadly they were defeated in the Division II state championship at TD Garden on Sunday. Tremendous turnout there by all of Milton. I was so glad to see so many people come out to TD Garden. Young and old filled the stands there behind the Milton High bench. And it was unbelievable journey for this team that went 24-2. A team that wound up winning, went, I think, unbeaten over 19 straight games during the course of the season after taking a tough loss on January 1. They rallied, got all the way to the Garden, and the Garden didn't seem to be too big of a stage for this team. From the moment they arrived and then took the ice, they seemed to be a loose bunch. They were really ready to compete. Got out on the ice after their warm-up and immediately went on the attack, and unfortunately they gave up an early goal. Their fabulous freshman goaltender, Kira Hart, stood up, and let me tell you, it was a ferocious attack by Milton. They kept peppering the opposing midfield goalie with a lot of pucks in the first period, and then ramped up the attack in the second and third periods, out shooting Medfield 29-19 over those two periods. Or no, 29-9, I should say. And in that third period, they just came after them. They were down 2-0, pulled the goaltender, and still kept putting more pressure on Medfield. But unfortunately, Medfield came away with an empty netter at the end to seal the 3-0 victory for Medfield. And, there was no shame for the Milton High Wildcats. Held their heads high when they came off the ice, and I think that they're to be congratulated and commended. And their coach, Matt Lodi, did a great job. And he was so complimentary in the post-game comments. And, I'll tell you, he's a tremendous coach and did a tremendous job. And here's a couple snippets from the interview we did with him post-game.
I'm going to remember this team as, probably the most special group I've ever had in 16 years of coaching at high school athletics. I've been fortunate to coach many games, and, in the 6 years I've been here, this is the most special group we have. And, I love those kids in there, and they've just been a tremendous crew to work with. And that's what I'll remember is their care for each other, their care for their game, their compete level, their grit, their tenacity, their effort, their attitude, their accountability, everything. It's just a fantastic group of 23, young women who we care deeply about.
As I said to you, coming out of that, I told Coach Lodi that, the entire town was really proud of how this team performed. And I told him that he had made a big fan of me and a big fan of Milton girls hockey. So congratulations to them. We want to tip our cap and wish them all well in their future endeavors. A great class of seniors, Al. They started as freshmen winning 6 games, as Coach Lodi mentioned, and going on to finish with a 20-win season. So hold your heads up high, ladies. You've done a great job. So unbelievable, Al. It was a great turnout, like I said, and it was great to witness. But, and it's funny, 24 hours later, I think the Bruins were on that ice, and unbelievable, Al. The struggles continue for them. And
you got to remember they're playing the worst team in the East,
Yeah.
Buffalo. And then Buffalo, whether you want to say who outplayed each other during the course of the game, it ended up 2-2 there. And I'll tell you one thing, Corpusalo played better than Swayman has played all season in that game there. He was terrific in that game. I felt bad for him because he made a couple of saves to keep, which you expect of a top goaltender, to make the save when you have to have it to either tie or win the game. And unfortunately, Swayman hasn't been able to do that. But Korpisalo played a great game, and then it gets into overtime. And I agree with Pasternak that Kuznetsov, or whatever his name is, he hits the guy. The guy then falls over Kuznetsov's stick, and they call a penalty in
yeah.
overtime.
It was ridiculous.
And Pasta was irate about the whole thing. And you know what? That cost them the game. There was no question about
Sure.
it. But you know what? Now they go out to 4 games on the road. They brought up Fabian Lysell, and it's kind of unfair to read all these articles about they're giving him a chance to play. He's playing with a team that's fractured.
Correct.
So how good could he possibly have been? Had they brought him up at the start of the year when Marchand and McAvoy and everybody was playing, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
Now he's playing with a kind of a ragtag kind of team that's not going anywhere. I mean, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I mean, to go out to the West and play the Golden Knights tomorrow night, then they play, I think,
Avalanche or Utah?
no, San Jose, L.A., and then they shoot back against Detroit. The only team that they could possibly win is, in my opinion, unless they play really well, is Detroit.
You're right.
So if they come back 1-3, then you throw all the kids in there for the rest of the
You know,
year.
what this smacks of to me of is they're showcasing Lysell for maybe a future trade.
No, I think
that
what they
might-
want to see if this kid, now he has 11 goals, okay? That's
Right.
not a lot of goals for Providence for a kid that was the #1 draft pick and was highly touted as an offensive player. Now, Merkelov, I would have brought Merkelov up too. Merkelov's got more points. He's got a lot more assists than Fabian Lysell. But that's what the Bruins really are really struggling over is how to score, how to shoot.
Right.
God, the other night they played,
5-on-3, Al.
well, the other night they played Tampa, and in the second period, Tampa outshot them 20 to
0.
nothing
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah. That's
I mean, that's
not
tragic. And they did
acceptable.
get booed off the ice, and I don't know why the fans aren't booing them at the end of every period, because I haven't seen them play a game from start to finish, except the game after the trading deadline, when they beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
Not so much the Tampa the first game, but the second game, all season long. So this has been the most disappointing Bruins team, doing the same thing over and over and over. I mean, you could say can't get out of the zone, don't know how to shoot, goaltending's been poor, power play stinks. They've let in 11 shorthanded goals.
Oh my God, Al, that's the worst part too.
So
Yeah.
there isn't a piece of this combine that has worked.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I think you have Sacco. But I don't know what they're going to do.
I knew
with
you were
him.
going to mention it, but do you think it's? I mean, as
I don't think it's
unfair as
fair.
it is to a kid like Lysell, I mean, he hasn't had a complete.
No,
He's a,
I don't think it's fair what Sacco's trying to do, and hopefully they'll give him a shot next season.
Right.
Because you can't continually just say it's the coach.
Coach, correct.
And we've done this over and over and over. It's the players. They overrated the players. They overrated look at Charlie Coyle. They traded this kid Milstad's. In my opinion, is good or maybe better, and he's 5 to 9 years younger.
Yeah.
I would have done that trade in a minute.
It's astonishing, Al. You look at the franchises here in Boston, Celtics trending way up, looking like a deep postseason run. Red Sox trending up now. They've done what they needed to do to make a course correction.
Well,
Patriots trending up. They've made the necessary moves, plus more to come in the draft to make a course correction.
Yeah.
Okay, they got a new coach. They got new philosophy there. Went out and spent money. All good things. Bruins trending down.
I don't know if they're trending down as much
Trending
as we
down
think.
now.
I'll tell you why. They haven't had Hampus Lindholm, who, whether you like him or not, is a pretty steady defenseman, a star. He's your 1 or 2 on defense. McAvoy's been out since he got hit in that series. You've got all of this going on where you get rid of a coach and all of that stuff. I think the overestimation, though, has been huge on Swayman. Big mistake. $66 million for this kid. And Corpusalo's played better. I hate to say it, and it's hard for a guy like Swayman to next year start off and say, last year was a bad year. You don't usually see that. A bad year for a goaltender is he wasn't as good. This kid's been bad. And then Elias Lindholm is one of the biggest mistakes they made. 7 years.
Yeah, unbelievable.
$54 million. So they've given up cap space. And Zadorov
has he shown you? Zadorov has played a little
He's
bit.
played a little better.
Yeah,
What I like
agree.
about him, though,
Yeah.
is he gets the guys going because he
Right.
is like the other kid there, the forward Kraslick or Kreslick. I keep forgetting how you pronounce his name. That hits everybody. Kesslick.
Yeah.
He hits everybody.
Yeah.
So you got Zadorov on defense, who the problem is if he gets pulled off the ice, they don't have any defense.
Right.
I mean, with McAvoy out of the lineup, I mean they're really depleted.
And
Pete has
Lindholm.
played pretty well. I will
And
say
Lindholm
that.
too. That's their top. That was their top defensive
Yeah,
pairing. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and Lorai makes a lot of mistakes, but he still is the best coming out of the zone.
Yes.
He's the only one that can come out of the
He's
zone.
the only one who can skate it out and keep the puck on his stick, and is a threat to score.
Why they don't shoot just amazes me. If I was Sacco, I would get that team in practice and say, when you come over the line and you're coming in, don't look to see where Pasta is. Don't look to see shoot.
Shoot it. Correct.
And if it goes on the goalie and it's a rebound, then somebody's going to charge the net like Geeky.
Yeah.
Geeky's got 23 goals. He's been
I like Middlestat too.
Oh, Middlestat. I think if you're talking about coming up, the seventh player or whatever they call it, the Bruins, I think it's either going to be Lorai
Yeah.
or Geeky.
Yeah.
Those are the only two guys that, the rest of them stink.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't use stink, but. Well, they're average players. You can trade them all, and you get what you. Oh, the other kid, incidentally, that they got from Toronto, got a hat trick the other day. The young
Yes.
kid, he's only 19 years
And
old.
an assist.
And an assist.
Yeah.
And they also got a first-round draft pick, Toronto's first-round draft pick for them. So
Yeah. That was
giving
part
up,
of the Brandon Carlo trade.
Yeah, giving up Brandon
Yeah.
Carlo and getting a young 19-year-old kid
With that kind
who's
of
a center, incidentally.
Yeah.
So, and looks like he's a player. Would I bring him up now? I don't think
No,
so.
I
He's
wouldn't
19
think-
years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
I think you got to go with Merkelov, and you have to go with Lysell to see
Lysell.
what he can do. I would just hope and say, we're bringing you up for one reason: score,
Shoot and score.
shoot.
Yeah.
And if I bring up Merkelov, and they haven't said that they would, set up. But that's
Well, I wanted to talk about a team that does not stink right now, and that's the Boston Celtics, who won their 50th game of the season, and they're lurking right there, Al, as a repeat, as a threat. They've got so much going for them. Even when they rest their two biggest stars, they get contributions off the bench from a number of sources. And in their latest win, the rematch against the Brooklyn Nets at TD Garden, it was Baylor Shireman, the rookie out of Creighton, who just wowed the crowd. Career high 20 points. Kristaps Porzingis, another big effort for him in his second game back. 25 points, 13 rebounds, 3 block shots that put him over 900 for his career. What a great rim protector and the presence in the paint he's become. You get contributions from guys
play
like
him
Peyton
20
Pritchard, Hauser, Luke Cornett, Al Horford, Cada. Everybody on that bench is capable of coming in, and now you get a rookie, who's suddenly playing with some confidence, Al. It gave him a little bit of confidence. That
he had 6 3-pointers. In all the games he had played up to date, he's only had 5.
Right.
So he has more 3-pointers in one
game than he had all season. But you know what, Al? What I love was his hustle.
Yeah,
Al, he had some great hustle plays.
He had some assists. He had some rebounds. He's 6'6", not a small kid.
But he was tenacious
Yeah,
on defense, and that's what I like. And I think everyone kind of gravitates to that philosophy, is that you got to be able to play defense on that team. Mm-hmm. If you're going to make your mark, you got to do it on the defensive end, because everyone can score.
It's like Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
I mean, Peyton Pritchard is only, they got him listed, I think.
But boy, he defends the hell out of people.
He not only does that, but he moves all over the
All
place.
the
You
place.
watch him, and he's the guy that you keep going like
Yes.
that way.
He loses his
Because-
defender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have to move without the ball. Plus, he can shoot. And
you know
he's a
what,
player.
Al? He's playing with unbelievable confidence right now. He's going to be the NBA Sixth Man of the Year. No, he's running away with it.
This is all he's ever wanted, though. I was reading an article about him. He was 5 years old. He said he wanted to play in the NBA. He didn't want to go to school. I mean, he went to Oregon. He was a decent player there. I mean, he can play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without
You
a
know,
doubt. But Al, I like their chances of doing this again.
I don't.
The only threat I see are there in the East. It's going to be Cleveland, and in out West, it's the Oklahoma City.
Well,
Thunder.
you got Oklahoma. I mean, when they play the better teams, they don't look as good. They win, which is
right.
the most important thing, but they don't look as good. And I think that's a sign of a good team. So I think they're the odds-on favorite to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't win.
And the thing is, if you put them in a 7-game series, you know, I saw some fissures, some weaknesses in Oklahoma City. But the thing I saw that like stood out to me was the way they played defense. It was with a feral tenacity, you know, this ferociousness, and they made the Celtics uncomfortable.
Well, you see
they
what
didn't let them get into their
What
offense.
can beat the Celtics
Yeah.
and can beat every team is a team gets hot from three-point line. Oklahoma did it. They had shooters all over the place.
And the Celtics did not get hot.
Well, yeah, so if they don't get hot and this team all of a sudden starts getting hot, you get 4 or 5, 6 three-pointers and you're getting two and missing one, but all of a sudden you're down 12, 14 points.
And you're trading 2s for 3s, you know. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but they're okay. You know, to seg to the Red Sox, I think the Red
Yeah.
Sox have got,
I see
mean-
you got your apparel today.
well, I'm not going to wear the Bruins thing yet. I mean, if they win 4 in a row on the road, I'll maybe put my, but anyways, I was going to wear my Ted Williams one, but
But Al, you got to like the pitching right now.
I like everything about this team right now. They got some young players.
Yes.
Bregman is going to be huge for this
Yes.
team because he's not only that, he's a leader. You can see it when guys either hit a home run or make an error and they come in, he's the first guy that goes out to them.
He's a leader. And you
He
know
is
what,
a
Al?
leader.
It's funny. Rafael Devers has kind of like suddenly changed his tune.
Well, he had to change his tune. First of all, he hadn't played.
Right.
And then, you know,
And Bregman's taking the position away from him.
Bregman looks like a ball player when he gets up at home plate. I hate to say this, but Devers looks like, where did he get that batting
Softball
stance?
player.
Yeah, you know, but
Yeah,
he
he,
can hit.
looks like a softball player in comparison to Bregman. Yes.
But you know, they've got Raphael, who I think is going to be. He's a future star.
Sedane Rafaela.
Sedano Raphael.
Yes.
He's a
Roman
future
Anthony,
star. Roman
future
Anthony.
star.
You got
Marcelo Mayer.
another kid who's got a
Future
beautiful.
star.
He's got a better swing. Mayer
Christian
than any of them.
Campbell, future
Yeah,
star.
well, I mean,
And it's this kid, the kid Trace Thompson, it's Clay Thompson's brother.
yeah, I think
I
Crochet.
think
Well, you know,
Crochet-
he's 33 or
Crochet's
32 years
dominant.
old. Thompson. He's not going to.
Well, but
I mean, he's a guy you're going to put in occasionally when somebody gets hurt or
Russ
something.
Snyder's
Yeah,
is-
another
he's-
guy like that.
yeah.
But I mean, what they can do, and what Crochet is obviously the ace. Beulah, I always use this as a comparison. I couldn't hit Crochet ever.
Yeah.
I could hit Beulah. He looks like he's hittable,
But he's a competitor.
but he sticks with it.
Yes.
I watched the game the other night, and I'm going, why aren't they hitting this guy? But when you watch Crochet, and I hate to say it, but you watch Aroldis Chapman, if he can control, in other words, don't walk a lot of guys,
The zone, yeah.
he still throws the
Location.
ball very well, and he's intimidating when he's on the mound, when he
no
comes
doubt,
at you. He's
no
a big
doubt.
kid. But I think that, and you know, the kid, Connor Wong,
Oh my God, Al. Surprise of the spring training to
but
me.
he can hit. Always has.
Always
hit.
has. But now he's got an element of power.
Well, he
It's
had
the
that
same
too.
way
I
that
mean,
Jared Duran showed up last year.
Yeah.
You know, jacked and ready to go, and that swing was powerful.
Duran
You know.
gives you the Ricky Henderson element, though.
Oh, my God.
Because if he gets on base,
A bloop single can be a triple.
yeah, I mean, he can run. He's a better fielder than he was before. So putting him in left field, I think, and putting Cedeno Rafael in
center.
center and Abreu in right, that's a pretty good outfield.
Abreu, we forgot about him.
Well,
you
that's
know.
a good outfield. And then you've got, your favorite, Christian Casas at first base.
I never said that.
Well, I'm going to
The
trade
guy I
him
like is
and
David
Vasquez.
Hamilton. I like David Hamilton.
Well, I didn't realize he hit that many home runs. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a pretty good ball player.
But, you know, and here's the thing, Al, we're almost forgetting about Trevor Story, you know, and what he means to this team, too. But you know what, Al? I think all the guys that you mentioned there, especially the young guys, kind of insulate the Red Sox from an injury to that position.
Oh, yeah.
They're not gonna come apart like they did last year when
You
they
could
lost
put
Story.
Zdeno Rafael at shortstop.
Or you could put Marcelo Mayer.
Or you could put Mayer there. Who
Or
was
you could put David Hamilton.
Originally a shortstop.
And Christian Campbell at second.
Who
You
played
could do a
shortstop
lot.
yesterday made an error then, I mean, on an easy play
Yeah.
going back. Anyways,
Was it Hamilton?
I think it was Hamilton. He
Yeah.
was going back and it hit off his glove and stuff like that. But, you know, what I like about the announcing of spring training games is when people say, look, that's not a big deal. These guys are trying to do different things to see how it feels.
Right.
And you know, and somebody who pitches especially, he if he doesn't have a four-seamer,
Yeah.
or he works on that in spring training, and he might get hit.
Yeah.
But don't overrate the fact that he got hit. He's trying out something new.
Yeah.
And hitters do the same thing. So I discard spring training in terms of making predictions about who's going to be good and who's not. You know, the Red Sox split their lineup sometimes, and some go up north and
Sure.
some go here. And
Yeah, split squads.
that's not the team that's going to be on the field next week.
No, they're getting people reps,
Right.
basically.
That's all
Spring
they're
training
doing.
reps.
And
yeah.
you know, looking to see, is this kid ready or should he be back down for a while?
And then they mix and
whatnot.
match. Yeah.
So I think they're going to be in between 90 and 95 games wins, which is going to put them in the playoffs in my
yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
And then pitching is going to be the name of the game. So if Roche and Beulah and Houck and
then
Bello
Enrique
come
Bello.
back and Gelato comes back and they got Priesta, they got a list of about 6 or 7 other guys
Yeah.
that might be the
Whitlock.
answer.
You haven't even talked about Garrett Whitlock.
Whitlock. I mean, he might be a reliever now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think the Yankees, I watched the Red Sox-Yankee game
Yeah.
yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday, might have been yesterday or the day before. Yankees are going to be a tough team,
Yeah.
even though they've gone through a lot of stuff with, what's his name, the pitcher, Cole.
Yeah,
could be
Garrett
out.
Cole being lost for the season with Tommy John, so
Yeah.
they have some issues there in Yankee land, you know, and it's not going to
But-
be. That'll be interesting.
Yankee Red Sox is like the Bruins Montreal. Oh,
Sure.
incidentally, just before we get down to the end, I was reading that Marchand, if he doesn't go back to the Bruins and he doesn't go back to the Panthers, Montreal wants him.
Oh, of course they do.
But
Oh.
if he puts on the Montreal Canadian jersey,
Is he dead to you?
no, he'd never be dead to me. The kid was a decent
He was a great
player.
Bruin. He was a great Bruin.
But anyway, and then I watched the golf
Yeah.
the other day, and that's a great golf course to watch.
Yes.
And I played down there. I lived in Sawgrass and played that course quite a bit. But that 17th is what golf is all about.
For sure.
I mean, to see the big guys get up there.
And put it in, stuff it close.
Well,
There was a forward pin
make it.
location. Yeah, there
When
was
the-
a forward pin location.
When the pin is back here and the water's there, and that's a plateau, incidentally, because it comes up like this. But
Who's
guy-
the kid?
guy will go there.
Toasty, I think was his name. Toasty that he hit in the practice round. He had a hole in one on 17.
Yeah, well. So I think it's a fun thing to watch because even after that, you got to go to 18, which has water all down the left side, and has pine cones on the right side.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough course. I think it's one of the better courses. At least the pros love it.
Yeah.
I've played a lot of courses because I travel quite a bit in sales,
Yeah.
but it's not an easy course.
No, of course not.
I mean, they could easily shoot 190 there.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out, especially as the PGA moves forward and gets ready for the Masters, which will be here before we know it, Al.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. We got the NCAA tournament going. Al, I know that you filled out your bracket already. Who do you have going all the way? Texas Western?
No, I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah,
I gotta study
look
this
at
a
it.
little.
It doesn't hold my attention as much anymore. You know, it's
No,
like
me neither,
it's lost its romance a little bit with all this
you know
NIL
what I
stuff.
look at, you know, if my team makes it through the first, because I usually lose the first,
Yeah.
you know, but.
It'll be interesting. Well, at any rate, I want to thank everyone, and I want to thank the Milton High girls hockey team for taking us on a great ride this year. Thank you to Coach Matt Lodi, and we look forward to seeing you guys here next time on Steppin' Up to the Plate. Take care, everybody.